Welcome to Let's Play Every Day, your daily source for deep dives on the sports talkers of the day. And now, here's your host, Tim McNabb.
Hello, everybody. Jesse Pierce checking her look as we go live with Let's Play Every Day. I'm Tim McNiff. I have the honor of being joined by three distinguished influencers in the Minnesota sports and business scenes, and we go deep on the sports talkers of the day. This show brought to you by, of course, our good friends at Northern Lids. Shout out to Nick Gross of Northern Lids. I thought I lost this hat, and I was about to give you the pathetic thing saying, can I have another one? But I found it. Crisis averted. Amazing what you do when you clean your closet once in a while. So joining us today are Jesse Pierce from NHL.com, Minnesota Hockey Journal, USA Hockey, and of course, Bar Down Beauties podcast fame. Willie Miles is back after successfully conquering Iowa yet again. Willie's not only a former college football coach and player, he is, of course, America's everyday comedian. And it is with great pleasure that I welcome back Daryl Thompson, former Gopher, former Packer, former morning drive DJ at WATL Smooth Jazz in Atlanta, and of course, youth advocate at Boulder Options. Daryl, the Golden Gopher football team has a big game on Saturday at Colorado, and PJ Fleck has been making jokes and voicing serious concerns about the altitude as a factor in Saturday's road game against the Buffs. In your opinion, how much of this is serious and how much of this is PJ manipulating the talking points around a football team that nobody was really impressed with when last Saturday?
Well, isn't the job of a head coach always to motivate and sometimes like almost manipulate your team into believing that there's nothing to worry about, you know? So it's going to be hot, number one, and they're going to be at altitude. So it's going to be a concern. I know that they're going to be concerned about the heat. They're going to be concerned about the altitude. So they're going to have to drink water. They're going to take care of themselves. And they are a little bit deeper team. So I think it's PJ trying to get the guys to put it in their back pocket and not worry about it, which is actually the same thing I would do. I say, we can't control it. So don't worry about it. Just go out there and play. And if you get tired, raise your hand, come out, tap your helmet. And we're going to try to, go and steal one from a pretty darn good Colorado team. The more film I've been watching, I've been getting concerned about their quarterback, their linebackers, their defensive line. It's a pretty darn good team.
Yeah, I've been concerned all week, my friend. Jesse, we have seen PJ's team start slow before and still end up playing on New Year's Day, but things don't figure to get any easier once Big Ten play begins. So really, for the Gophers, how much is at stake on Saturday?
I mean, I think a lot. Now that we're heading into week 3, now's the time that you have to prove yourself. I mean, last week they were 18-point favored, and they barely squeaked by Miami of Ohio. So you need to come out and win a dominating game and do so in respectable fashion, just to kind of keep everyone's head above water, including your team, including the fans. I don't want to say it's panic time by any means, because it still is early, but by week 3, you should have had your team kind of worked out the kinks a little bit as you do head into that Big Ten play. So I think there is quite a bit at stake here in Colorado.
There's already been a head coach fired at Division I level in college football. USC, one of the blue blood programs of the game, fired Clay Helton just 2 games into this season, including 2 stints as the interim head coach. Helton went 46-24 at USC, including a Rose Bowl win to cap the 2016 season. USC was also 1-1 so far this year. So, Willie, USC is a program that has had 4 athletic directors and 5 football coaches in the last 12 years. Would a top coaching candidate really be interested in a job that appears to be this transient?
I hope not. At the end of the day, Tim, money talks, and USC's got a lot of it, but I don't think that's their answer over at that program. I really don't. They're throwing out names like Franklin from Penn State, Fickle from Cincy, Campbell from Iowa State. I really believe that, and I've always been a proponent of this, that I don't think you steal a coach from another school. I think that should be just like a college transfer. They shouldn't be able to do that because kids commit to a college because of the head coach. And to me, that's wrong. I say go after coordinators. I think that's what they need to do. I think they need to bring in a fresh look and quit going after, hoppers like Urban Meyer. You know what I mean? I don't appreciate when a head coach leaves a program and leaves the kids who they recruited and the kids they recruited high and dry that have signed letters of intent. I like this Tony Elliott, this offensive coordinator from Clemson. This guy's a good coach, and I think he'll make a great head coach. But I don't think they've already tried to steal head coaches from other programs or bring in a high-powered coach, and it just doesn't work. They don't have that kind of program that they had back in the day, and they need to start from scratch.
It's a good thought, at least, but when somebody doesn't have that track record of being the head coach, it's a difficult move. DT, because of that, you know what's coming. There's already been numerous posts written about the supposed short list of coaching candidates for that USC job. C. Willie Miles just ran through a whole list of them, and of course, PJ Fleck's name comes up each and every time. Concerning PJ, how serious would you consider this as a possibility?
No, I think it's a possibility. I think you never know, and I think and C. Willie said it. Money always talks. So if there's opportunity there, it's a unique place. California is different. It's spread out. There doesn't seem to be the commitment just from like the fan base, like even the fan base here and other places. Like, I'm a Gopher fan no matter what. USC, and we got UCLA, we got Pepperdine, we got the Lakers, we got the Clippers. There's a lot of things going on in Southern California, not to mention it's beautiful and sunny and you got the beach and all those things. So it's a whole different place. So it's not really a football town. So, I mean, that part to me makes it difficult, not to mention the fact of all the pieces that Willie talked about, the rotating athletic directors and head coaches they've had over the course of the last 6 or 7 years.
This, of course, is Minnesota. Jesse, you heard me lament many times how in Minnesota we just can't have nice things. So how disappointing would it be were PJ Fleck to pack up and go to USC or perhaps to really any other college job at this point?
I mean, DT just sold him on the warm beaches and Southern California weather, I think, if he's paying attention. But and me too. No, I mean, of course.
Make me want to move back.
Yeah, right.
Didn't bring up Hollywood.
No, of course. I mean, it'd be disappointing because you realize that PJ came in here and you can just feel that his job's not quite done with this program. He's already done a tremendous job in bringing national attention to this team, kind of shaping it into a well-respected program in a very difficult Big Ten. And I think he hasn't reached that level of success that we here in Minnesota are so desperately craving for this football program. They got this new fancy stadium, right? You got this new head coach. You want big things. So of course it'd be disappointing because you want to see PJ see that through. And as C. Willie Miles says, I kind of love that idea of coaches not being able to leave because you do have players that commit for the coaching staff. I remember at Iowa State where I went, Gene Chizik up and left and went to Auburn, and I still hold a grudge against that. So yeah, I mean, I think it would be hurtful to the fans. It'd be hurtful to the program, who I think really have embraced PJ and his style of play. So it'd be a big old bummer, if I can say that.
Well, you can. And for me, Jesse, it goes all the way back to Lou Holtz. So that's how much I can hold a grudge right here. Jacksonville, first-year head coach Urban Meyer was asked yesterday if he had any interest in the USC job, and he said there was, and I quote, no chance that he would leave Jacksonville Jaguars for that job. Willie, Urban's a guy who's been known to change his mind. What are the odds that Urban Meyer gives the same answer or maybe even speed dialing USC by November?
I think it depends on these next couple of weeks. But no, look, is he a hopper? Yeah, he just got to Jacksonville, and I just don't think that's the answer for him. I don't think he's gonna do that personally. But I do agree that if you come to a college and like a PJ Fleck and so forth, and even Urban Meyer, these guys come to these schools and they say things like, you're not there just to bring national attention. You come here to win championships, and you say you're going to win a national championship. You say you're going to be a Big Ten champion. Then stick around and see it through. You know what I mean? You just can't be here for a few and say, well, I had a good run. We had some good wins and stuff like that. But that's not good enough. That's not why kids come to play for you. And Urban Meyer is he's a serial mover, man. And I don't know how long he's going to stay in Jacksonville, but it depends on the next few weeks. And if they can get in, USC has a lot of money. If they want to buy out his contract, and if Jacksonville doesn't really feel like he's the right fit for them, they'll make the deal. That's it. I mean, I think that's wrong for a coach to do that, personally, or school.
It all sounds good to me. That gets us to transition from the college game to the NFL game. Minnesota Vikings, they got down to the business of preparing for Sunday's game at Arizona yesterday at TCO Performance Center. Daryl, Mike Zimmer said on Monday that he thinks his football team still can be a pretty good team. Do you agree?
Absolutely. I think they can be a pretty good team, and that's not really saying very much, unfortunately, I would think, a pretty good team. Okay. So does that mean you're going to win 8 games? I mean, you're going to win 9 games. So yeah, I think they can be a pretty good team. They have a lot of people back, hopefully Anthony Barr comes back as well. He's able to play along with Danielle Hunter. I thought that was probably the biggest hole last year besides the offensive line. The offensive line struggles and the defensive struggles. Losing 2 big stars like that really, really hurt them. So yeah, I mean, I think they can be probably even a little bit better than pretty good. I think they can be a good team, maybe a hair above 500. And if the Minnesota fan base is happy with that, then that's it. Right, Jesse?
Exactly. That's describing all Minnesota sports, right? Like, meh, not that good, not that bad.
Yeah. And I was like, when he said that, Daryl, I was thinking, I don't know that you can. And the way you put it that way, I'm just like, yeah, really? Is that what we're good with? Was these guys getting us to being a pretty good football team? I mean, I thought the object was to win a Super Bowl, but guess
only played one game.
Yeah.
He only played one game. So I mean, but
it was like 6 games bad, right? The offensive line said it was like 6, maybe 8 games bad.
It was a weird game. It was a weird game, but it was good to see people and good to see fans. I mean, that's all. There's all the part of it that we're back from the pandemic of having fans and everything else. So I think there's there's just a learning curve to it. But hopefully, we can, the Vikings can get better and win some games. Just makes it for a better, makes our city a lot happier.
To be sure. Jesse, I could sit here all day and just keep throwing out reasons why Arizona will beat the Vikings on Sunday. Can you give me a couple of reasons why they might not?
Because that's not the Minnesota way. They can't just crush you all at once. They have to give you hope and then take those tears away by winning a game that seems unwinnable, right? No, I mean, like DT said, it's been one game, right? And yes, it was atrocious to watch a lot of it, but the second half got much, much better. So, I mean, you can take that little glimmer of hope that Kirk Cousins is going to be more of a second half quarterback than the first half that we saw last week. Plus, as we mentioned, the defense wasn't terrible. You have Danielle Hunter back. That was his first game back. Michael Pierce looked great. That's his first time back too. So, I mean, I think if the defense can stay strong and shut down Kyler Murray, that's going to be huge. And Chandler Jones, probably not going to have 5 sacks, right? That's not something that's going to happen week after week. So you have that despite how atrocious the offensive line looked last week. I don't think that you're going to see that continuing to happen. So there are your good nuggets, your positive nuggets from Jesse. That'll help.
You think Chandler Jones is... You think Chandler Jones is looking at that film like, oh yeah.
He was just salivating, right? Like, I won't have 5, I'll have 7. No.
7 or 8. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did that against Taylor Lewan, former number 1 draft choice, and the guy who's been a Pro Bowler 3 times. That's what scares me about this, and it has me here, Willie Miles. I am 58 years old. I have spent 50 years as a Minnesota Vikings fan. Willie, I'm going to die and never see the Vikings win a Super Bowl, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am.
Oh
no, you no. I don't.
Yes.
I don't, look. I'm not that grim, man.
I am.
Truly believe. I know. And if I've been 50 years, I would say the same. The beauty of me is growing up in Alabama, where we didn't have professional sports, so I never attached myself to, a program like that or a diehard fan. I mean, I chose Auburn. Well, I didn't choose Auburn. My father did. And in our family, whoever your dad roots for, that's who you root for, or you move. So I was an Auburn fan, and we understood that Alabama was the big dog. And every once in a while, if we can beat them every 4 or 5 years, that was our championship. And we happened to win a national championship with Cam Newton at one. So that's it for us. We're good. We got one. I mean, I can see how you could just hang in there, man. But once you get to about maybe, Medicare age, if you don't have one by then, I'm just gonna say, just don't try to hang on, man. Just tell them do not resuscitate.
And it's probably gonna happen on a Sunday afternoon. I thought I might die Monday night when I saw Michael Russo's piece in The Athletic quoting Minnesota Wild GM Bill Guerin is saying there are going to be some obstacles regarding the now stalled negotiations with reigning Rookie of the Year Kirill Kaprizov. Jesse Pierce, in the immortal words of Shaka Khan and Rufus, tell me something good.
Then I have to stay silent. I got nothing. No, I mean, it's incredibly frustrating. They're at a stalemate. They continue to be at a stalemate. Training camp starts next week, you guys. And then you have preseason, and then you head into the season, and there's still no deal signed with Kirill, who is a restricted free agent. So again, the Minnesota Wild retain his rights. He wouldn't be able to go play anywhere else. So there's your good news, I guess, your good hope. But I think they are still so far away. Anybody that read Michael Russo's article, which was fantastic too. I mean, it seems like they're close, but they're not close. And unfortunately, this has been Kirill Kaprizov's MO. I mean, I think it's time that we can't continue to blame the agent. It took him 5 years to come over here from Russia. We had to wait and wait. And now this is his third agent that he's on. So part of it's kind of like you're offering him the highest amount in the NHL after only 56 games and a very quiet playoff performance. If it's not about the money, what is it? What's going to come terms? And Bill Guerin is a guy that does not like to be strong-armed as well. So they're going to continue to butt heads. I mean, I think if he misses preseason, and you keep in mind too, getting him over here from Russia has its own obstacles with the work visa and with the vaccination protocols as well. So this deal needs to get done, and there needs to be time. I don't see it happening by training camp. Possibly miss a preseason or two. The good news there is Kirill Kaprizov is a guy that can come into the regular season, probably not miss a beat, has been working out all season. So there's that. But hopefully talks continue, get closer, and you see Kirill in a Minnesota Wild jersey sooner rather than later.
And not at the expense of everybody else on that team. And I just want to stay with you for a minute, Jesse Pierce, because you wrote a really nice story about Marco Rossi. Tell us about that.
Marco Rossi, what a tremendous player, human being, everything. I know when he was drafted 9th overall in the 2020 draft by the Minnesota Wild, he got on and talked about his family and how close he is with his family in Austria, and how his dad used to drive hours to a rink just so he could play hockey. And so hockey is something that meant a lot to him. Unfortunately, last year, Rossi, who was primed to make the Minnesota Wild roster, had complications due to COVID, which very, very hard complications. A 19-year-old kid who could barely breathe walking back and forth. And this is a pristine athlete too. So unfortunately, he was back home most of last year. He didn't skate on the ice between January and June because he was not allowed to do anything. But now he is back. All medical tests cleared. He is just so thrilled to be back on the ice and playing at this high level. Kid's got some confidence, not even in, a cocky way, just some very strong confidence. And he looked phenomenal out there. Yesterday was day one of rookie training camp, which Marco Rossi falls under that category there. And he looked great. So there's your other hope. If Kirill comes back, he's going to play very well with a Marco Rossi. And if not, Marco Rossi is going to be the next guy up. And it's exciting to watch, and a tremendous process that Marco and his family have been through, and wish him all the best.
Where do people find your story?
NHL.com. I think it's on the homepage, guys. Easy to find.
I think it's the number 2 rated story there as of last night. So
there you go.
Saying, nice job. Byron Buxton has been back and playing quietly for your Minnesota Twins for weeks, yet not a single injury to talk about. Willie Miles, are we sure that that's really Byron Buxton out there in center field for the Minnesota Twins?
You shut your mouth up. Don't be jinxing my man. And my 91-year-old mother-in-law, that is her favorite player. And she loves him to death because she said nobody plays harder than Byron when he's out there. But I don't think bubble wrap is the answer for him. I think you just slide him over in right field for a little bit. Just let him hang out over there. Because the guy plays hard, man. That's why he gets hurt. He runs, he hits the wall, he dives for the ball. I mean, that's what happens when you play out in the outfield like that, man. He's tough guy.
Willie, sometimes he gets hurt running to first. I mean,
but
Daryl used to run with 11 people running to try to tackle him. Come on.
He's running hard. There's guys who play baseball for 20 years, never pulled a hamstring. I mean, that's not running it out, man. This guy, he wants to make a double play. He wants to get to second base. He's a winner. He runs hard. And baseball is a fragile sport.
So you're telling me that really is him out there, right? Okay.
I don't think they would spend the money on cloning him. I think that they trade him before they clone him.
If he was healthier, they might. Daryl Thompson, what happened to your Green Bay Packers last Sunday, and why was it all the fault of Aaron Rodgers?
How can you blame my man Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it's not his fault, is it?
It's
also just the young hockey guy that we were just talking about, Kirill. I can't pronounce his name very well.
You're good.
There is something to being there. and then like the cloud and the fog of the offseason. So everything that Aaron Rodgers went through in the offseason, I think has like, it's not messing them up, but there's a fog. Okay. Yeah. So maybe it's messing them up. But then the other piece is you actually do need to play in the game and have live action. So this was his first game since, being on the beach with his fiance over in Hawaii or wherever they were at. So you come back, you come back, you play a live game, and it just takes a while to get like up to full speed. So there's nothing better. I believe we play the Detroit Lions this week, right? So that's a nice place to come play. I mean, Detroit Lions, no Stafford. It's a nice team to play when you need to regroup. Yeah. So I mean, I think we can blame Aaron Rodgers if we want, and get this, we still got 16 games.
I'll give you that, but I'll tell you what, if he starts slow against those Detroit Lions on Monday night, I am real interested to see what the reaction of that crowd at Lambeau Field is. It's going to be shenanigans in the offseason.
It'll be raucous in Lambeau on Monday night. The Motor City Kitties. I'm thinking about it.
That's going to influence whether they win or lose, so I want you to stay home.
Yeah, right.
All right, you guys, confession time. Well, I have been to Allianz Field, and it really is something. I've never been there when there's been an actual Minnesota United game being played. In your opinion, and I'll take you one at a time, which team and facility offers the best fan experience in the Twin Cities? And Jesse Pierce, I know you're going to be hanging out at Tria Rink for the next couple of days, so you're not obligated to say Minnesota Wild unless you really feel it. Jesse.
Are we talking professional, or are we talking kind of
you can
anywhere?
Go wherever you want to. Where can you go and see? If you tell people out there, hey, if there's something you've got to see in Minnesota sports-wise, this is the place to see it.
Well, I can't say the Coliseum anymore, but I would have said the Coliseum hands down at the State Fairground. I used to go watch high school hockey games. White Bear versus Hill Murray. Epic. Couldn't get any better. You love that, Tim.
Yes, it could. White Bear could have won once in a while.
That's true. That
I'm
is
also
true.
Traumatized from that.
No, I would say CHS Field. If you guys have not checked out a Minnesota Saints game there, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous field, beautiful backdrop, and a lot of fun too. I mean, that's my kind of baseball where there's not as much paying attention to baseball, a little bit more now that they're the AAA affiliates, but before it's just it's a great atmosphere. It's a great family atmosphere too, which obviously with me and the kiddos, anything that can keep them distracted while we're heading over to grab a craft beer in the corner is always nice. So I would say CHS is my favorite fan experience in the Twin Cities.
Nice. Willie Miles.
Well, my favorite fan experience, actually Jesse stole mine. I was going to say CH Field, but because I spent a lot of time in St. Paul's, my last job over there. And I saw the refurbishing and the rebuild of the new stadium, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But my fan experience for me has always been for the last few years Target Center and at the WNBA. The Lynx put on a show. And if you've not been there to watch a winning team win, that's the part of the experience that I don't care about the stadium. I don't care what it looks like. I want to be there when there's some action, when they're winning. That's what makes the experience for me. Mm-hmm. I could care about the view. I want the view to be right in front of me, what I paid to see, which was a winning team. So that's mine.
Yeah.
Daryl Thompson, you played at the Cathedral, Lambeau Field. So let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what you've been able to experience here in Minnesota. Where's the best place somebody go and watch a game in your opinion?
Well, I think, when they're winning, which is a good point for C. Willie. I mean, I have a son-in-law who's a soccer person, so we get over there a little bit, but I feel like it's the barn. I think the barn is, it's fun, it's unique, it's kind of on top of you, and it's an intimidating environment when things are going well. If it's not, then it's not. But I mean, if we're talking about when they're winning, then I feel like the barn is fun. I go back to, Willie Burton, Richard Coffey, and, those guys, and all the way back to, Cookie Holmes and some of the others. But it's when we're winning, that's a really cool place to be.
You know what? There's some sight lines in there. We still have the posts. And if you're stuck behind one of those, not an ideal experience. But yeah, there was a time there where I actually got paid to go and sit courtside at the barn and watch that 97 Gopher team that season that never happened.
Right.
And watch them run Michigan State, Purdue, Bobby Knight in Indiana off the floor. I still have this memory of them being up by more than 40 points on Purdue, and an errant ball went to Gene Cady, and he was sitting on a stool at the end. The ball came to him, and he just got it, and he looked at it for a minute, and he just shrugs and tosses it back to the referee. Never said a word to his team. I mean, they had no chance. We've never seen that. Maybe the Vikings 15-1 season, but yeah, I mean, they spoiled me. And when they took away those courtside seats for the media, which they should have, but I mean, like, I'm like, I guess it's time to go to news because I'm never going to beat that. I'm never going to beat that. That was the absolute best.
So you were there for the free seats.
Well, I'm telling you what, I did my job. I came there early, and you know what I would do, Willie? I would get there early, and I just will never forget. When they would send me, hey, you're going to do the pre-show at 6:00 for the Gopher basketball, and I'd be like, all right, I'm driving separate, and I would fly down there, and I would get there, and you know who was always on the court at this time was Vashawn Leonard. And I would watch Vashawn Leonard shoot shot after shot after shot. And you know who else was on that court at that time? Nobody. You know, and who went on to the NBA? You know what I mean? Right. I mean, he was, and he'd give me this. That's all I needed. Just give me that, Vashawn. I'm good to go. You know, so yeah, I loved it. I say this because I feel like I have not given equal time to the Minnesota United. And we were going to have Andy Greeter from the Pioneer Press on yesterday, and we had technical issues and didn't have that. That's part of his beat. And I keep hearing about the experience of these fans and that facility they built at Allianz Field. Just when I went in there, you walk in there and you feel like, am I in Munich? Am I in, Manchester? Because it's such a funky thing, and this hand scored that they put up and all the rest of it. And I want to see the banners, and I want to hear the crowd cheering. I used to go to the games out in Blaine, and there'd be like 12 guys doing it, and you just go, you guys need to find something to do. And now here they are, and they're joined by thousands more. Wow. I mean, I just really respect what they've done.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful stadium. I did show for Allianz, and I got a tour of the actual stadium, and that was the first time I've ever been inside a professional soccer stadium. And they invited me to games, but again, like I said, I only work 45 minutes a day. I mean, I got 23 hours and 15 minutes to kill, but I really don't have that kind of time. That's a lot of time for 0-0, man. I
don't know.
Kickoff.
There's a goal once in a while.
Willie, I think we got to make that happen. All right, you guys. Okay, here's the last question. Who is the worst fan? No, I'm not going to do that. Not today, anyway. Not today. I'd love to see Jesse answer that one, then go over to the Wild.
Yeah, right?
That would be great. All right, Willie Miles, you just did like 47 shows in 3 days in Iowa. Where can people find you?
Well, my next local performance here publicly is going to be at the Paradise Center for the Arts, which is in Faribault. And that's on October the 9th. I have shows in between. I'm going to be traveling to North Dakota and so forth, and places that you don't want to go with me. But I'm back in Minnesota on October the 9th at the Faribault, at the Paradise Center for the Arts. Beautiful historic theater down there off of 35W, just straight down about 40 minutes south of Minneapolis.
Beautiful. Daryl Thompson, you're about to jump on a plane for Boulder, Colorado. So safe travels, my friend. Please bring back a win. And if you would, please remind us, everybody, what's happening at Boulder Options.
Well, we got our annual dinner coming up September 30th. So that's kind of a big deal. 2 weeks from today. So, it's a little bit smaller this year, but it should be a fun night and kind of special.
What are people doing there at the annual dinner? What's the purpose?
To learn more about the organization, hopefully raise funds to continue the work that we're doing in the Twin Cities and in Rochester. Thank you.
Jesse Pierce, got to give a huge shout out to Avery. Avery was fussy right up until showtime. The light went on and we never heard a peep out of her. So besides rescuing baby boomers who can't do technology, what else are you up to these days?
Hockey's back. I will be over at the rink quite often, which is great. I have to remember to dress warmly. I was freezing yesterday. But no, so you can find a lot of my content on NHL.com. Also Bar Down Beauties. We're still releasing episodes every single Monday. Again, a lot of hockey talk now that the season's getting underway here. Very exciting. And that's about it.
And I know she's smooth as silk on all the other sports, but you guys check out the Marco Rossi piece, because this is a young man who really faced a life or death situation last year, and he's back and he appreciates every minute of it. Jesse, you absolutely captured that story. So nice job.
Thank you.
Reminder that coming up this morning at 11, we're going to be streaming the latest Let's Play Super Draft, where we take you inside the future of daily fantasy sports. And, of course, you can check out right now. We streamed it this morning at 8:30, but if you're interested in that game tonight between the Giants and the Washington football team, It's Gorgomatic. We did that at 8:30. You're going to be able to find that later in the day on the YouTube page for the Let's Play Sports Network. In the meantime, thank you for joining us. Thank you to our contributors and, of course, to Northern Lids for being the official headgear supplier of Let's Play every day, and, of course, the Let's Play Sports Network. So long for now.
Thank you for engaging with Let's Play every day. You can find more episodes of Let's Play Every Day at www.letsplaysportsnetwork.com. Also on the Let's Play Sports Network Facebook page, Twitter account, YouTube channel, and everywhere you find your favorite podcasts. Please rate us if you liked the program, as that's how we find and build an audience and can bring you more great options from the Let's Play Sports Network. Thanks for joining us, and remember, let's play every day.